he was seen in the national newspapers, and it did say, although the girl is not filing no charges, but it doesn't make the situation any better for him. It's already been known. Okay. I'm not going to comment on that, Mr. Financer. That's your observation. I have no comment on that for legal purposes. And let me get back on track here. The idea that he's carrying around a knife to begin with, that's illegal in the Philippines, period. And to take it out in public, that was not a great idea. It wasn't very smart. And the girl maybe didn't file no charges because she's probably in fear. Shit, I wonder if she's even still working there. Fear is a factor here. Okay, Perennium Spectre, welcome back. Serious question. I think Ricky Drama has a mental issue. The man is not normal. Well, I came to my own conclusion. I'm glad you came to yours. You know, define normal anyway, right? What's normal for him? Obviously, attacking a 68-year-old man from behind, that kind of says quite a bit. Yeah. Although, you know, Fozzie was no angel, but I think the way he carried it out and approached him from behind could have gave him a heart attack. Or as Popeye would say, a hot attack. Oh, is Popeye recording me now? I don't know. He likes to do that. Fine. Gets the word out further. Look, just face the fact, there's a lot of people that have issues on here, okay? I mean, my God, how long you've been listening to YouTube, and you've heard all these different shows and people, what they're talking about. I was a little upset with the Philippines Information Channel because Steve did a show about classes of people or what Filipinos look for. And he was saying pretty much that, you know, construction people, blue collar people are would be considered lower class as a choice for a Filipina, which is fucking bullshit. Blue collar is what makes the world go around. I was blue collar, period. Proud to say I was blue collar all the way. No building gets built without blue collar. Country doesn't run without blue collar. It doesn't develop without blue collar. So I disagree with Philippines Information Channel on that. I don't know where he got on his high horse with that one, but it's not like he had this, you know, illustrious career. But to put down blue-collar workers, nah, that's wrong. Absolutely wrong. I had no problem being blue-collar. I worked all kinds of labor jobs, and, you know, I never had a problem with that. I've done all kinds of labor things that were dangerous, to say the least. I did a show about that a long, long time ago. Some of the things I did do that most of you would probably never do. But when you got to pay the rent, somebody offers you work, you work. Otherwise, stand on the street with a tin cup and live your life that way, which is something I would never do. Perennium says, Steve is not the sharpest knife in the kitchen. I'll refrain comments on that. I think he means well. I mean, just to create a show for material. But the fact is, he just kind of repeats the same thing over and over again and puts a little fairy dust on future shows that he does about the same topic to seem like he's talking about, you know, a different aspect of the same topic, whether, you know, how much it costs to live in the Philippines, how to find a Filipino. God, it's been so played out, which is about every vlogger on here. I think, you know, Steve, like a lot of people, I think is just very lonely. and he wants to help people, maybe because he really likes helping people. You got to give him credit if that's due. But I think in terms of a lot of vloggers, I think when you live in a foreign country, I think you really need to communicate in some form or way. I mean, here I am, right, with other foreigners. Although maybe you don't want to hang around with them, but I think people still need communication. He got mad because I told him Medicare would never come to the Philippines. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I just really don't. I mean, that would be fantastic. I mean, I face a lot of expenses in the near future too. Uh, I had to pay quite a bit of money for, some beginning part of this kidney stone crap that I've been going through, and there's another part coming up that I will be paying out of pocket until I can get insurance, and then there'll be another smaller part. So it's not over till the fat lady sings. It's one of those situations. But you got to do what you have to do, or just leave it alone and die. Frank, why do you take credit for grievous information you did not find out first? How would you know? That's just you're speculating. You're just speculating. How would you know that? Because you don't. Where do you think Aloe got that information? Where do you think he got that? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. Anything else? Was Brevis doxxed? I don't know when. Financer says, I know where it came from. Well, it came from somewhere. Somebody did research, okay? Don't matter where it came from, it's out. And I'm glad it is. Brevis tried to get away with a whole lot of shit, man. He just looks for trouble or just finds it. I don't know. Just finds it. Pretty much, if the information is correct, then he did. And I do believe that the information is correct. The first name is not Brevis, it's Drew. He was scared on GD Mead's show, really worried. Why? What did he say on GD Mead's show that made him scared? I really like it when all these people take the high road. They commit crimes themselves all the time, and they take the high road. Because some of them remain anonymous as far as going on camera all the time, and you know, they might not even live in the Philippines. They figure they could say anything they want. And pretty much they could. They could. But that's also called cowardice, taking that position. Petty Inspector says, I've been staying away from the YouTube drama. Well, you're better off. You're better off. As you can see, I've been active on here lately, but I have not gone out of my way. God, I used to do sometimes several shows a day. Now I just come on because I feel like coming on. No obligation whatsoever. I like it that way, the status quo. Come on when I have something to say, or just feel like rapping a little bit to somebody, and that's all it really is. Revis is trapping. What did you say? All right, didn't catch the rest of it. The financer. Look, it takes all kinds on YouTube, as you all have experienced through the years. All kinds of personalities, all kinds of mental conditions, backgrounds that are not exactly exemplary. Uh, People running away from something rather towards something. We've got a lot of that going on. He's reaping what he sowed. Pretty Inspector says Brevis is here making babies all over Cebu. Yeah, that's the kind of people that we don't want here. That's a real, if you want to define a person who is not exactly good material to be in the Philippines representing his country. Well, his other girlfriend, not the one that he's with. The one that he impregnated and didn't help out died. Not the current one. No, from my understand, no, it's not the girl that he's living with, the baby they have. It's this other chick that he knocked up. Who knows how many others, really. He just doesn't know how to take responsibility on anything. Sad. No matter which one it was. I mean, it's sad. Well, I don't know about karma in that. He doesn't give a fuck. My opinion about the other baby or the woman that he impregnated. If he cared, he would have used a condom or something, or would have took responsibility toward that child. Right now, he just needs a place to hang his hat, and that's what he's really all about. My opinion of why he's with this woman. It's my opinion. I will underline that. He needs a place to hang his hat and have some companionship. Because even a player gets lonely at times. A player. And Brevis is the white Calvin Roach. Yeah, I guess so. When you think about it. I don't know, these people with they try to come on as being such a righteous person and making judgment on everybody else when their life is actually out of control. They don't want to show you completely what's going on in their life because that would defeat the purpose. Or even coming on and talking about somebody else. I mean, everybody has some kind of skeleton in their closet somewhere, and some have more skeletons than others. But they're not going to tell you what their background is. No, they're not going to do that. Thumbs up, people. We got 2 out of 22. I guess that's something, huh? It means we got a lot of trolls in here. But I don't get paid to do these shows. I'm not monetized. There we go. Thumbs up, folks. It's not that hard. Even the trolls like listening to my show. Oh, is Popeye simulcasting my show right now by any way? He's trying to be the new Swampcast. People are spreading rumors. They said Swampcast is actually Sarcasm DQ. That was the newest. You can make your own opinion on that. So in regards to a show I heard on the guy's girlfriend, I was kind of laughing at some points. It's like, he doesn't belong incarcerated. Why is he in there? Because he wanted to be, get a free place to stay? Is that what she's thinking? Acting like he's so innocent. Oh, I had nothing to do with harboring him. Oh, no. I had no idea. She purposely put on that broadcast just to say that and also to gain sympathy from the viewers that, excuse me, her boyfriend's having a hard time. And, well, you're not supposed to have a good time in lockup. Excuse me. A little post-nasal drip. Yeah, I imagine the conditions are horrible there. I'm not insensitive. I do realize that it's not a great place, and they should have condemned that place a long time ago. Perennial Inspector says because he couldn't shut his mouth. Yes, that's correct. Well, I thought about that, Financer. I did think about that, and you might not be far from the truth on that one. Because that guy hates my guts. He's very active, but not publicly. He's not going to come on and do a show about me and go on camera and everything else, but he does a lot behind the scenes. Everybody has their info. He's the only one with so much hate towards Frank. No, he's not the only one. Then you ask a question, why would somebody hate anybody? It's almost like, did somebody do something to somebody's kid? Kick somebody's kid? Kill their dog? It really stems down from not getting what they want. They want to see me burn in hell. They want to see me burn on the stake. They want to see me get deported, whatever. And when certain things don't go their way, it just gives them more ammunition to press harder. That's what it's all about. I don't watch your show. I don't even know the name of it anymore, to tell you the truth. And I'm not going to make comment on that either. Looks like Trixie now. Yeah. Yeah, Trixie. Well, Trixie. We call her Trixie, but that's okay. Yeah. And what is Trixie waiting for? She wants to go out to America? Is that the whole idea? Or is Ren just trying to make more money to come back and build a house? I heard him talk about different things on there. I don't know what's going on with that. But she doesn't come on that often. But every time she is on, her mouth is moving. She's always eating something. I guess that put the pounds on. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I don't know what I'm eating. No, I've been feeling pretty good, actually. It's just that's not over yet. It really, actually, never really started with this procedure because when I went in, I thought he was going to break up the stones, but I'll repeat it for one last time. He had a lunch special the other. Oh, really? But just continuing with the same thought, the I thought he was going to break up the stones, but it's not what he did. Because the stone, particular one, was located high in the urethra, or urethra, however you want to pronounce it, and he wasn't in a position to attack it with some shock waves. But he put a stent in, and then part two is coming up, a few weeks, I guess, where I am going to have that shockwave therapy to break it up. And then there'll be part three. We have to come in there. It's an outpatient thing to, same as the others, an outpatient thing too, but take out the stent. I heard that after the shockwave therapy for the kidney stone, you're going to be pissing out blood like crazy. Oh, thank you. Great. That's nice to know. People don't think it's a big thing, but it really is if you got stones. I mean, it can cause all kinds of damage. You could even die from it. And my kidney was infected as a result of that, and I was on antibiotics like crazy. And thank goodness the last report I had on the urinalysis was that's good. Infection's gone. Thank good for small miracles, huh? Oh, I said miracles. I don't know how to approach all this shit. I want it over as much as other people do, but sometimes, you can't stand back and take such punishment from people. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to force your hand to do something. And if it costs you money, it's going to cost you money. Money's replaceable, but, it's the principle of the whole thing. I think if the guy pleaded guilty to a lesser degree of charge, I think he would have been probably in a better position because if you think about it, I don't know what the judge is going to do. Whether he's going to toss it out the window, whether, or he's going to convict him. You got to understand things this way. You got to think logically. If you plead guilty to a lesser charge, maybe he wouldn't get that much time at all and it would be all over with. But when you plead innocent, you have to go through the trial and they find you guilty on any one of the 5 counts, you might be doing a little bit of time. So logics say that pleading guilty to a lesser charge would have been the best option. And I thought about this for quite a while. But he was, of course, forced by the... No, don't plead guilty, don't plead guilty, fight this, fight this. As if some miracle is going to happen. But, no guarantees on any divine intervention or something. It's just not always the way it works. For any one of us, really. Because you believe there's going to be a divine intervention or someone on a white horse is going to come by, but that doesn't always work that way. Not always. Come on, thumbs up, people. Thumbs up on my channel because they're all trolls. But I know all the trolls are listening right now, every one of them. If not recording it already for Swampcast or Popeye doing a simulcast. I didn't check, and I don't care really. No, the Philippines is not a place to fuck up. That's for sure. It's not a place to fuck up. Because as you know, things move very, very slowly out here. Very, very slowly. And that's not a good thing. I didn't tell the government to keep them incarcerated for, what is it, officially 15 months now? Now going on 16 months this month, on the 27th. Never said it was easy for him. I didn't put him in there. He put himself in there by not paying his fines and fees. It's my understanding that the charges on him, damages are, if the judge abides by that, if he's convicted, is about 500,000 pesos per charge times 5, if it's 5 charges. But then there's the question of paying off all his immigration fees and fines, penalties, whatever. It's pretty stiff stuff, you know. I don't know how he's going to do that. He may have people helping him out. And I know somebody that recently did, to the tune of about 1,400 US dollars, I was told anyway. Mm-hmm. Information comes to me in different ways. Yeah. If you would ever ask me some questions. I mean, you know, I don't want to do a monologue here. So if you have any questions, I'm giving you the opportunity to ask me. And if it's a legal question, uh, there's a fine line on what I could say or talk about. Please keep that in mind because we have an active case going on. So, yeah, it's an opportunity if you want to ask a question. So go, you know, turn it into more of a dialogue. But I did listen to his girlfriend's show. She had a rare live that her boyfriend put her up to do. And it was all bullshit. It was all bullshit. Came on there to gain sympathy for him and, you know, that God's going to help him and, you know, get to the religious people and saying that he didn't do anything wrong, that he's in lockup simply because he simply didn't pay his immigration fees, fines, penalties. But the truth is that he's still in lockup because he has a criminal case against him going on with 5 counts. That's what's going on. But she failed to mention that. But they decided to try to get even with me and they filed a complaint, or she did, against me to try to deport my ass out of here. The status of that is up in space at the moment. I think my lawyer did a wonderful job on a counter affidavit for that. A wonderful job. I read that thing about 6 times. Retribution, it's called, my friends. Retribution. He wants to get even with me for being in his situation, but yet he put himself in his situation. You know, the irony of this or whatever. He put himself in that situation, but he wants to get even with me. So he wants to get his girlfriend to do whatever she can. File a complaint against him. File a complaint against him. File a complaint against him. We got to get even. That's about what it comes down to. But unfortunately, these situations can turn on people. They could. We'll see. We'll see about that. What happens in the near future. I can't read the future, but I know that when you're lying about something and you make a complaint against somebody It's found out that the whole idea that was retribution for the boyfriend, is not going to look good on the person who made the complaint. Then the ramifications that happen as a result of trying to discredit somebody as she was doing, calling her a prostitute. I never called her a prostitute, never used that word ever, never even used her name in anything. It was kind of a wild-haired report or complaint is what it was. I can't read it legally. A wild-haired complaint is what it was. It was an act of desperation to intimidate me to drop the cases. I've been getting emails from probably him on the sock accounts, or even her. I don't know. I don't really know. Threatening me that you better drop this case till before Christmas or else. I've had other threats. That's intimidation. It's illegal. And it just goes to show a court that he's desperate, he's pissed, and he wants to throw stones at me in a big way. Rain Damage says, her moderator wrote, Barry can't do fiance visa, she must do tourist visa. Well, when you do a tourist visa, the person that you're going to be seeing has to be financially responsible for the person. The Americas does not want to take on the burden of anybody who might decide to slide away out there and stay and then be under the dole of the United States, being on the welfare system or something like that. You have to prove that you have the money to accommodate somebody on a tourist visa. Actually, if she's going to be particularly seeing a particular person, I could be mistaken on that, but I don't think I am. Her moderator, she has a moderator. I didn't know she had a moderator. It's just tossing a lot of mud pies around, and sometimes it gets ugly where, it oh, excuse me. Oh, God, I got to sit back down again. I'm on a medicine that sort of kind of makes you a little dizzy when you just get out of bed or something or stand up. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, why make things worse? I totally understand the concept of wanting to help your boyfriend out. I understand that. Big plans they have, but what big plans? This is the part that it absolutely malnourishes my brain. What plans? He's not going to be able to marry her. He's not going to be able to come back to the Philippines, and getting her to America to accomplish this amazing task. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't get it. If somebody would please explain it to me, I would really appreciate it, because maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture here. But truthfully, for what I see and what I know, he is pay about 128,000 pesos to try to get yourself removed from a blacklist. I've heard that somewhere along the line, but I can't see how that would happen. Cambodia? Well, they'd have to live in a different country. That wouldn't work. He'll just get in trouble in another country and make it worse. I mean, no matter where he goes, he's, as World Zoom admitted himself, he said that the guy is very abrasive to immigration, to DOJ, to U.S. Embassy. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Oh, you got more eggplant. Homegrown eggplant. There we go, homegrown eggplant. I could see, I don't know, those countries might be a lot worse than the Philippines as far as law is concerned. I wouldn't know. I've never been there, but I don't think the conditions are any better or possibly even worse than the Philippines as far as jails. Okay, questions and answers. Let it all hang out. Tell me what's on your mind. What do you think about this whole situation? And by the way, I absolutely know that Larry Evans, John Blaze, is behind the scenes on this, big time. Now, the funny thing about John Blaze is that he gave me money one time, about $600, to help with the cause of getting this guy convicted for his stuff. And then John Blaze turns around, is now supporting him. And even from a long time ago, too. Recently, he got a little gift. The man incarcerated got a little gift of about, at least someone told me, true or not, that John Blaze gave him 1,400 US dollars. At least that's what somebody told me. Now, would that surprise me? No. So John Blaze doesn't know which side of the fence he's on. He has personally told me that he can't stand the other guy. But because John Blaze has a little problem with me, this is the fence jumping that goes on YouTube all the time. For example, if you block somebody, they've been on your side, but they said something you thought was out of tune, you know what I mean? And you block them. Then they get mad and they start donating and giving money to the other party just to piss the other party off. Goes on all the time. So John Blaze has got a stick up his ass in regards to me. He's on his high horse, or trying to tell people, I bought a new truck for my girlfriend. So what are you trying to prove? Are we supposed to bow down to you because maybe you got the bucks to buy a new truck for your girlfriend? Really? No one cares. And he also said that I cannot afford to buy a vehicle. That's why I don't drive. No, I have chosen not to drive for damn good reasons. Damn good reasons. I made it this far in my life. I'd like to continue a little bit further down the line. And I don't, getting in a vehicle in the Philippines is going to really help promote my longevity, to be quite honest with you. Somebody made a point and then they retracted their message. Hey, I'm just living my life day by day, man. When adversity comes, you face adversity. That's how I could sum it up, really. Do you like adversity? No. Who does? But if adversity comes, well, you deal with it. Brain Damage says Blaze is a helicopter mechanic but portrays himself. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do. I pretty much came to that conclusion. Yeah, that's probably the case. Nothing wrong with being a mechanic. I don't knock him for that at all. And never will. I just think his personality sucks. I think the guy, and what really gets me is you get together with a chick, you marry her, bring her to America. But the question is, has she seen that part of his personality? Was she sitting around while he was doing shows and knocking me and my girlfriend? How could she think? And this goes for somebody else too. The several relationships the other guy had, they would all be sitting there with him and hearing him threatening somebody's life and all the things that he did. And she sits there, whatever girlfriend it was, and thinks, oh, what a wonderful person he is. He would make an ideal mate for me, somebody worth marrying. Dudes, haven't figured out. No. I could say a word that begins with D and ends with N. That is the denominator of all this, which is likely the case, but I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. No, sir, I'm not. I know the score. Every Filipino wants a promise of a future with a foreigner. Not everyone, but I'd say the majority of them do. It'll kind of put them on a higher platform in some way, even if the guy's only earning about $560 a month. To them, that's a higher platform, I guess. My opinion. My opinion. That it is. My opinion. Okay, so what are we going to have? Eggs and toast? I don't know what the hell I'm having this morning. Oh, I get a lot of emails. Oh, you better believe I do. I get a lot of emails from people. Always have an opinion about something. Oh, God, we had bread except for this oatmeal bread? Really? Really? Okay, I guess we'll have to go with that. Pardon me, I'm Mr. Multitasker. Life goes on. Hold on. Shit, I gotta get at least 2.5 liters of water in me every freaking day, which is not really an easy thing to do. Kind of sucks. But everybody should be doing it on a daily basis, especially if you're living in the tropics anyway. You've got to keep your kidneys free of toxins and not allow them to build up any stones. God, we're still getting ants around here. They come out of the damn outlets sometimes. I think I want a bigger breakfast than this, but this is going to have to do. Might have some oatmeal with this later. I don't know. Okay. Well, there's not much recourse here. I've given you guys an opportunity to ask some pertinent questions. As I said, I can only answer them within the realm of certain legal issues, things I can't go into high detail on. Yeah, I know a lot more than, what I could actually put out on things that are happening, than what I could actually put out on my show. I'm being very careful with every single thing I say on here. Absolutely. No question. No question. Well, I might as well put some cheese on this damn thing. Might as well make it interesting. Nothing wrong with me having some cheese, I guess. But I get tired of all the bullshit, Everybody thinks they're above the law. They never committed a crime. They never did anything wrong. Well, why are you in that situation if you didn't do anything wrong? I mean, that would be my first question. I did find some regular bread here. I'm going to eat it too. Make some toast. Well, for you guys that are always seeking so much information, you're not doing a hell of a lot on asking a lot of questions. I said within reason, within limits, I can answer your questions. Certain boundaries. Is it true another case is forthcoming? Well, the thing about the pedophile thing, that's what the case is all about. There is another pending case. I could say that right out front, that I might decide. It's according to a few things that happen. And I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but the threats, the death threats, are a whole nother issue. We're not addressing the death threats on this case. No, that's another separate case that he would have to face. In lieu or in light of the fact that he's trying to get his girlfriend, there's all this retribution shit going on. It's kind of leading me in the direction of actually doing that. Of course, it's a discussion with my lawyer already. I mean, he's prepared anytime I want to go for this. I'm just feeling things out and see where things go. And not just for him. It's not just for him. There might be another case against her with 2 different agencies. I told you, I don't fool around when it comes to shit like this. This is my future, too. You have to understand that. It's my future. Bruce Monroe. Boxers or briefs, Frank? The world needs to know. That ain't too personal. Boxers, my boy. Boxers all the way. You need something loose. You live in the tropics. Kind of a weird-ass question, but I answered it. Nah, briefs don't work very well out here. I have briefs, too, that I wear. I wear both, actually. I'm not sure why you want to know that. The world needs to know whether I wear it. Okay. You say so. If you say so. I answered your question. I thought I'd get a little better questions than that. Let's see. I'm going to even break out the cream cheese, too. Where is my cream cheese? Yes, indeed. Don't normally eat a lot of cream cheese, but got to get my calcium somewhere. The world needs to know whether I wear boxers or briefs. The answer is, drum roll, both. Both. Sofa King makes his way back. Welcome back, Mr. Sofa King. This is a kind of a question and answer show this morning. I'm not sure how long I'll be on here. Been on here over an hour. But questions within reason, within legal limits of answering them. Boy's got to watch himself these days. Sofa King, question. Would you rather spend your money traveling or filing cases? Well, that's an obvious question, of course. A Ricky reunion video? Hell no. Would you rather spend your money traveling or filing cases? I don't enjoy having cases, of course not. Who would, really? But, like I said, sometimes it's things you gotta do, even though you don't really want to do it, but somebody forces your hand to do something. What are you gonna do? So there's some things that need to be done. There's some things that you cannot ignore when it gets that bad. And this affects my partner too. She is absolutely involved with this case. She is witness too. She's absolutely involved with this case. Completely. That she is. Ooh, that was a little bit too burn. I don't know. Where would I like to visit? There ain't no particular. I don't know. I wouldn't mind going to Italy or something, but it has to be somewhere she could go too. And there's very limitations. We can go to Asia, anywhere in Asia, but, she's part of the formula too, Pardon me. I do have to eat. A cross-border trip. Well, I'm getting older, man. I got to start making trips when I can, but I got to put a lot of shit behind me right now. So get things cleared up and where I want it to go, and I can consider doing that. I got an urge to travel, definitely. Sometimes I got a bug, about that. Pardon me. Jack Doe says, I love hearing of your old conquest with the babes. There were many. There was a lot. Some good, some bad. That's for sure. Hey, Mark Catley, Prison Boy's back. Hey, Frank, I can almost guarantee you that the immigration complaint goes nowhere. For example, the Big I has more pressing matters like national security and trafficking. It will simply expire in 60 days or so. Mark my words. Well, we'll see. It don't matter what direction it goes. There's going to be a follow-up on this anyway. Just one call to my lawyer sets things in motion. What do you feel that she hoped to accomplish with that bizarre live stream? She said it was to get watch hours. Well, in part, I think it was to solicit sympathy for her boyfriend's situation. And make people feel sorry. And the thing about that live show was that she takes this stance as if her boyfriend didn't do anything wrong. What did he do wrong to deserve this? Oh, come on, really? And that he's only locked up because of immigration. No. He's locked up because he's got a criminal case against him. 5 counts. That's why. My dad retired from that agency. Are you Filipino? They get complaints daily. They send them out to and get a counter affidavit. Almost always it goes no further than that. Here's the thing. I understand they're both pissed off. Okay? Things didn't go the way they want. Whose fault is that? And to retaliate, as she's doing, was of course the brainchild of her boyfriend. Okay. Sorry, got my mouth full. And for everything you do there's always going to be an equal or greater reaction that has to be considered. All bark and no bite. Well, they're trying to bite very hard, but they got a muzzle. Frank, though, is the real deal, and these lowlifes underestimate his tenacity. I guess so. I'm not going to sit there and take this shit. That's me, yeah. Here, girls. I mean, why should I? You can rest easy at night. 99.9% of complaints submitted work their way into a pile in some unused office and never see the light of day. Well, I don't totally know that. But whatever transpires from complaints or whatever, you deal with it. That's all. Did you hear me stressed out today? I'm not even close to being stressed out. I'm not going to allow that. You know, sure, I want to go on with my life. Get all this legal shit out of the way, of course. But a lot of people don't understand that it's taking its stress on my girlfriend, too. Not just me. And I can't have that happen. Sorry, I just can't. There's a lot of ways of looking at this shit. But there's only one correct.
Yeah, it looks like he turned his sound off. He never liked punching a time clock for work. So now he is stuck in his place till a verdict. No BS. It has to be fucking with his head. Oh, Frank walking again. Dude, if he's dizzy,
Sorry, I didn't know I had the thing off here. I said basically you got to deal what you have to deal with. No, I don't like doing court cases, but there are times that you have to put your foot down and you got to say no. This has got to be remedied. This has to be executed in order to get the satisfaction that I need. My girlfriend's involved. She's a witness on this case. Absolutely, absolutely. As far as him being out for Christmas, I could only give an opinion. I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think that's going to happen. The next case is next month, and I know he's been trying to get his lawyer to make this whole process a little more expedient in consideration of the time already served at immigration. I could definitely say that without no legal worries. It's pretty obvious. His lawyer even tried to say that I never met him. The first time his lawyer got involved, and he was on camera, and he said that he's never even met me. Even the lawyer was lying. Well, actually, the lawyer got that information from his client. And guess what, folks? I guess I never met him. I think you all know better from that. Brain damage says, was his undesirable status removed? And his supporters keep saying, you're an undesirable if you got an accepted court case against you. You're undesirable. Look, the facts are there. Okay, the videos are there. I mean, it's either you did something or you didn't do it, and you got damn good documented evidence. Okay? I can't say what the outcome is going to be, but he was charged for something particular, and there was evidence, and there is evidence, and even more, actually, can introduce that he did indeed say that. He was stupid enough to say that on YouTube on camera because he's cocky. As World Zoom said, that he's not an easy guy to get along with. He's highly abrasive, and I'm using the words of World Zoom, who happened to be a roommate of his for 4 months. How is Barry going to pay for hundreds of thousands of pesos? Well, he'll find some benefactor, I guess, or his girlfriend's family, or, somebody that really hates me. I can think of a few. I can think of a few that hate me that will not put any money out, and I can think of a few that hate me that have a little bit of money. Someone recently just gave him, according to what someone wrote me, someone just gave him $1,400 US. A man by the name of John Blaze. As I said, John Blaze is all over the planet. He's one of the biggest fence jumpers on here. Gives me money to go help with a case against a guy, then turns around and he's supporting the guy and giving him money. That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't think he knows what side of the fence he's on. He's just pissed at me. That's all it takes. He knows that the dude is wrong. He knows, and he's even said it. He knows that he did these things, and that's why he's in that position. He absolutely knows that. But because he wants to get even with me, that's why he's been helping the other guy out all this time. He has been, the whole time. Sofa says, is abrasive a nice way of saying retarded asshole? No comment on that. Well, one of these days, this whole thing is going to be over with, and where it goes, like I said. And they seem to misconstrue certain things. I was saying in the past that whatever decision that the judge makes, I'm good with, because it's the judge's position, and you got to be good with it, because he's God in that courtroom. Let's face it. A judge, if you're religious, is the closest thing to God in a courtroom. He's God behind that. Well, they don't even behind the desk. Everything's on camera. The judges are afraid to get COVID, so they don't appear in person. It's very uncomfortable. If you ever went to one of these hearings, they got a small TV screen and a speaker, and and me with bad hearing too, and the accents and everything. I can't even understand what they're saying. It's not very audible. The speaker's not very loud. And anybody who's making comment to the judge, like either one of the lawyers, the judge probably has a headset on. Where he is, I don't know. He could be sitting in his own living room doing this. I mean, I don't know. He's not in the courtroom. He's not there. He's not there. He's simply not there. Which makes it kind of uncomfortable, actually, to me. It just seems highly impersonal. And by the way, the dude we're talking about never even showed up in a court. Nevertheless, his lawyers show up in a court and did not even show up on camera. He didn't even want to go on camera. Brain damage says, BI commissioner publicly stated he is an undesirable threat to the community. I don't believe the undesirable was removed like his supporters claim. I don't believe that either. Because he's had trouble with immigration. I told you, even his roommate said that And we know that already. He can be very abrasive when he wants to, and very often he doesn't know when to shut his mouth. And that's why he's in this situation altogether. Sofa King says, "Geez, Blaze, pick a side." Blaze is Larry Evans. He's a very vindictive person. He calls me Mr. Dr. Nicotine when he's been a smoker a long time. He claims he quit, but we don't know that for sure. Dr. Nicotine. Coming from a smoker, that's funny. Well, he burned, the dude we're talking about actually that's incarcerated, he burned a lot of bridges because it's his inert position, a disposition in life that he can't shut his mouth, and that's what gets him into trouble. That's why he had a bottle over his head from somebody from a bar. Remember when he got that big old thing on his head? He was busted open from a fucking beer bottle or something that he tried to blame on me. Tried to blame on me. Because he'll even go after a woman that's with a man. Like he's that much of a, Don Juan, that he could pull away some woman from her relationship with another guy. He's a real Don Juan. That's funny than shit. No, he creates his own problems. And if I'm supposed to be sitting here feeling sorry for him, that he's been incarcerated, the only thing I would agree on is that the place is a dive. That it should have been torn down. And I guess they have plans to, I don't know when, to find a relocate place and just tear that place down, which should have been torn down a long time ago. Nobody deserves that. Not even him. Not even him. I could say differently, but I'll be very fair about this. Not even him. Brain Damage says Blaze's only friends are old widow pie makers at his Bible thumping church. You might be right. He thinks he's above the law. He's another one. He knocks the Philippines so much. So why is he with a Filipina? I don't understand it. He knocks the Philippines all the time. There's nothing good he has to say about Filipinos in general, or the Philippines, actually. Try to define that guy. It's very difficult to define him completely because he's kind of all over the planet with his thoughts and actions. But as I always say, it all comes out in the wash. It always does. His wife, now wife, claims anyway, because you don't know what to believe with him anyway. After a while, she's going to see into his personality. She would get a green card and everything going, and she's going to leave him. Once an asshole, always an asshole, okay? And she'll find that out in time. I'm not saying next week, next month, it could be a year or two down the line. But she'll realize what this guy is made of. She's some good Christian type chick, and he has some very evil ways about him, very vindictive person. It all comes out in the wash sooner or later. He's claiming that's never going to happen. Well, never say never. Blaze having friends? Haha, unlikely, Sofa King says. I don't even know if he has any personal friends, really. And he's not the healthiest specimen out there either. He is overweight. I've seen a picture of him. I know what he looks like. Yeah, I've seen what he eats, too. He might even have stones. Try that on for size, Larry Evans. Get some stones. Tell me how it feels. Never mind your umbilical hernia. That was nothing compared to stones. Nothing. Sofa King says, Frank should teach Blaze about the art of friendship, but Blaze wouldn't listen. I have no endeavor to be friends with this guy. I'm not friends with anybody on here. It's not my goal to make friends on here or to hang around with other expats. It's never been my goal. I've voiced that out many times. Oh, I got 8 thumbs up now. That's good. I've never, never, no, it's not my goal. Brain Damage says, I saw his photo. Blaze is very untidy looking. Yeah. I see what he eats. And I know how much meat he eats. That guy had a refrigerator, freezer. I don't know if you remember when he showed it. That thing was stocked. He said he eats steaks all the time. Now, there's a limitation on red meat that you can eat. But this guy eats a lot of red meat. Every now and then he'll go on there and try to show a healthy meal. To show that, hey, this is what I eat. No, that's not what he eats. I've seen a lot of the things that he eats. And it's highly unhealthy. But whatever. It's not my body. Let him do to himself whatever he wants. No skin off my ass. Everybody gets what they deserve. Fazio, everybody. People are dropping like flies on here. Okay. Get your questions in, folks. I'm not going to be on too much longer here. I actually have some things that I need to do, actually. Okay. Yeah. Sniffling again. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little congestion again. Happened this whole time. This stone thing went on. I was not getting much congestion, but then it's picking up a little bit now. Okay, show of hands, whoever wants to say it. Who thinks that what his girlfriend did was righteous? And do you feel that there should be ramifications as a result of that? And is it not retribution? Is it not let's get even? Let me see what you have to say about that. I mean, it's obvious to me, but I don't know how you think about it. It wouldn't go this far. She and he wants this thing all over. So either one of them can move on their lives. Well, we all want that. But when you pull this kind of shit, somebody trying to destroy my life, my relationship, my happiness, I'm not going to stand back and take that shit. That ain't going to happen. That's just not going to happen. Remember, tooth and nail. Why open up another can of worms? To live to regret what you did. To live to regret it. On a legal basis, on legal terms. Of course, only legal. I represent no threat to her at all, and I never did. The way she was acting is that, oh, she should be afraid of me, that I'm dangerous, I'm this, I'm that. How? Where? How? How? Then they tried to bring up that shit about the crap in Hawaii, which my lawyer emphasized that was a civil lawsuit that's been, it's over. Has no relation to what's going on here in Hawaii, in the Philippines. Has no correlation, no relativity to anything. But they tried to use that to make me sound like I got this, felon or something. My record, there is no criminal record. None. No criminal record. No felon. No arrest in regards to that tenant situation. Nothing. But when you're desperate, you try to use what you can to try to paint a Norman Rockwell picture of yourself, painting, and make the other guy look bad. Well, we had this trouble in the United States and Hawaii. Yeah, it was a civil case. It's over. It's basically done with. Okay, Mark says, and you said your attorney easily tore the complaint to shreds. Pretty much, yeah. I can't read it. I wish I could. But I can't. And how immigration reacts to this, it's been quite a while now since you put that complaint in. My father used to say, no news is good news. Well, we'll see. And even if it's not the news I want to hear, there are avenues to address it. and I will. And the involvement is going to be pretty intense, and there'll be charges probably put against her for two different avenues, two different agencies. But that's what she wanted to do. Oh well, that's history now. Open up that proverbial can of worms. I still don't get it though. I know her boyfriend, he's a smooth talking son of a gun. How naive could she possibly be? I don't know. My opinion. It's incredible. What future do you have with a man who has a propensity to get in trouble all the time, and he can't, and he's not coming back from America to here? My understanding is that that's just not going to happen. So what's the use? Move on with your life. Find a respectable man who has a job, a good Filipino man who has a future. Because time's going by, not getting, chicks not getting any younger. It's hard enough to find even a foreigner sometimes. When you're at a certain age, because foreigners don't, as you guys very well know, I don't make this stuff up, foreigners tend to go for very young Filipino women. She does not fit that billing as far as a foreigner is concerned. She's at the bottom of the stack, as far as succeeding at her age. And this is my opinion, again, my opinion, and it's also very factual. It's hard to get a foreigner. She seems to like foreigners. It's like a badge of honor to have a foreigner at her side. Through hell and high water, she wants that. Don't matter whether he's in jail or has no future. Engagement. What kind of engagement? How do you get engaged to somebody that's not going to be able to come into this country again? And she's not going to be able to go there. What is the purpose? It's all for show. Maybe it means unity. We're unified. We're going to fight this together. And they're trying. How do you be engaged to somebody where it's impossible to marry them? Somebody, please straighten me out on that. Maybe there's something I just don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. Explain it to me. Maybe I have a few gray areas on that. From my understanding, that is never going to happen, and it can happen. So why are you, would be engaged just for show? Just for show. Now, we're not attacking her at all, just to let you know. I'm not even using any names. I could be talking about anybody for that purpose, but the point being is that we're talking about sensibility. We're talking about reality of a situation. What's the reality of it? Get engaged to somebody who's in jail is probably going to be, well, it is going to be deported no matter what. At some point, whether it's 10, 20 years down the line or down the road. What are the odds that he gets back to America? And well, I don't know how he'd afford a girlfriend in America, to tell you the truth. On what he's making per month, if he's still able to get to my understanding, is that he doesn't have his disability. Because the U.S. Embassy was notified the minute he went to jail, and I think there might be truth to this fact that he is not actually getting his disability. They took that away from him. I'm beginning to really believe that. So how do you have a life with somebody in America? We'll go back to flipping waffles, I guess. They'll take them back, maybe. Honorable profession. Honest work. Nothing wrong with flipping waffles. It's honest work for an honest day's pay. Nothing wrong with that. I don't really look down on that, really, when you think about it. You're not going to make much money, but it's a job. And he's trying to survive, and you're going to need a place to live. You're going to have to pay rent. I don't think any of his family's going to take him in. It's too much trouble. Brain damage says they don't have evidence to file a case. Only option was cry to the BI, bad foreigner hurt my feelings. That's really what it comes down to, Mr. Brain Damage. You hit the nail on the head. She's upset. He's upset. He tells her, go to immigration. Here, get a lawyer to write this up, whatever. You know, make a complaint. And by the way, it's a complaint. It's not a court hearing. It's not a trial. I got to sneeze. It's simply, but not really simple, but it's a complaint. A bona fide, 100% bona fide complaint. It is. It is what it is. And my attorney handled it very well. Apparently, they're not got back to either one of us. Is that good, bad, ugly? I don't know. It don't matter what it is, because it will be addressed. Whether it's in my favor or not, it's still going to be addressed afterwards. Oh, believe me, it's going to be addressed. You could trust me on that. The fact that she's trying to break up my life with the only thing that matters in my life, the stone of my life, speaking of stones, the thing that makes me live and tick and thrive, to try to break that up because she's upset that her boyfriend is incarcerated and probably doesn't have a future. So try to ruin my life. That's the answer. That's the answer. Try to ruin my life. What does my girlfriend have to do with this? Nothing. Although she is a witness. So she's being punished too. Is that the whole idea? Mark Catley says it's only a complaint. You countered it. That will be the end of it. Plus, you have an excellent attorney. Yeah, he's pretty good. I questioned him at first, in the beginning, when he made that mistake when we put an affidavit in, and he didn't include the goddamn videotapes. I wasn't happy about it. Even he said he's upset. He said he lost a night's sleep because of that. Because the prosecutor came back and said no, but he remedied the situation by doing it again, and this time he made sure that the videotapes were there. So that worked out real well. But he was upset about that himself too. Yeah. BI will discover what their boss, the BI commissioner, said about her boyfriend, and they will laugh at the complaint. Well, I can't say anything for sure. I got an open mind about all of this, okay? I'm not going to be somebody saying, hey, I got it made in a proverbial shade. I'm not going to say that. I do think out of the box. Nothing is finite, really, until it happens. I have an open mind about everything, where this case will go and everything else. And, that's all I could say, because I just can't really. I wish I could really dive in to the counter affidavit. I wish I could dive in to a lot of the legal related stuff, but there's an active case going on, so I really can't. I can't get into the juicy stuff. I just can't, and I won't. The things I talk about on my show are allowable, and most of this information people are aware of anyway, so it's public knowledge. So that's the only reason I could even, do some surface, provide some surface information on this. Mark Catley says exactly that too at Brain Damage. Well, he didn't make friends with immigration, I can tell you that. He didn't make friends with the embassy, and he didn't make friends with the DOJ. They know his name because I was putting in a lot of reports electronically to all these agencies in the beginning. They got tired of even hearing the guy's name. Then there was national news on him, and I'm sure they're all aware about it. So if you had to put the odds, I don't know what the odds will be. I really don't honestly think anything's in his favor. Okay, he's trying. I got one more sneeze coming here, so deal with me. Great. Maybe one more coming. I'm not what I'm allergic to. I don't know what I'm allergic to right here in this room. Something in this. What is the detergent we've been using? I don't know what it is. Ah, God, my train of thought is being lost again. ADD, believe me, in action. Uh, I just think he's making things worse for himself. He's been doing this all along, especially when he got the charges on him and he still came on and did YouTube and was doing the same thing. I mean, that didn't help his situation at all. And I totally understand his frustration. I understand his living conditions, but his living conditions equal or they're better than most of the places he's been living at. He don't have to pay rent and electricity and stuff. So in some ways, he's got it better. Some ways he does. But just to repeat again, I don't pretend to know anything that you don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to predict the future. I would say the odds are against him. I could say that for good reason. Look, you either let's just narrow this down to the nitty gritty. Did you or did you not commit the crime? Did you break a Republican Act code 10175? Specifically 4 in parentheses C4. Look it up and what the damages are. Okay. 4 and in brackets or parentheses 4C 4. Did he or did he not call me a pedophile and a child molester? Did he not do this publicly on camera? Did he not spread this uh, untruth to hundreds and hundreds of people? Yes, he did. Was there damage done as a result of that? Yes. So either he did this, and it's not, like a one-time deal. Like he could look up something on me. Well, he said something nasty about me, he might say. But in comparative of how many times he said things about me, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. If I was a lay person listening to this, I know exactly how they'd feel. He's not a nice guy. He's got some problems, but they're not my problems. I don't want him to make it my problem. Brain damage says that she is on an infatuation high, that a foreigner showed interest to her. Okay, I respect your opinion on that. Don't expect me to elaborate on that. I probably could, but I will not. Playing it safe here. I respect your opinion. I'm not saying whether you're right or wrong. I don't know what goes on in the mind of people. I don't know where infatuation comes in. I don't know. It's individualistic, Everybody has their own likes, and there's a lot of women I've witnessed, certainly growing up in the United States, that were abused by their boyfriends or husbands, and they stay with them. And number one, in part of fear. Number two, because the husband might be their only support system financially. A lot of reasons why they stay with somebody. A lot of women marry guys in prison. And you're like saying, what the fuck? Why? Are these women in the United States that I've experienced, I've seen this, you hear it all the time, that women are marrying guys that are in imprisonment. I'm thinking, what are they getting out of that? Well, the guy might have Social Security. It might be beneficial to her. There's always a reason. Everybody has a reason why they do something. Some of it may not make sense to you, may not make sense to me, but they do things haphazardly. And there's always ramifications. So what is she getting out of this? The satisfaction of trying to get me to spend more money on my lawyer? That's not a problem for me. I'll handle it, and I did. And if it goes on further, I will handle that too. Money is replaceable. dignity is not, someone making you lose dignity into the public, what price do you put on that? Humiliation and everything else. What price do you put on that? There's no dollar sign to something like that. There's none. So she puts a fucking report on me. My lawyer answered to it. And we'll see where it goes. If it doesn't go where I want it to go, well, we'll continue further on from there. We'll make a case out of this. And we'll have everything come out of the closet, put everything on the table, and she could wind up doing time herself. Think I'm playing? I'm not a player. I'm not a player. This involves my life. It involves my relationship. It involves my happiness. It involves my staying in the Philippines. You think I'm going to sit here and let that all fall apart? Then you got another thing coming. Or she does. It's not going to be that easy. I'll guarantee you that. I'll wait for a report to come in on immigration. If it's in my favor, I'm going to show you it. I will put it on camera. Because I'm going to tell you something about immigration. They get a lot of reports from people all the time. They got a stack so high. They can't handle all that. And they don't have the staff to do it. Unless somebody did something so egregious, they're not going to throw you out of the company. I did a video short, it's probably still on there, with this legal lady, you hear her voice, saying that foreigners have rights too, that it's nothing but ignorance when a Filipino tries to put a case against a foreigner out of some retribution, is what she's talking about. Because it doesn't always work in their favor. It doesn't always work in their favor. Not all the time. And I look at it this way, for somebody that don't want their life, they don't want complications in their life, they're sure doing a good job to make that happen. Now, if you go back to the past, you will remember that he told his girlfriend, I told everybody, uninvolve my girlfriend. I don't want anybody to involve her or her family. Did he not say that? Am I lying or crying? But what does he wind up doing? He involved her. That's not love, my friends. That's not love. It's utilitarian is what it is. Mark agrees. It's utilitarian relationship. Do this for me, do that for you, and I'll promise you the sun, the moon, and the stars, and a bottle of champagne on top of that. And a genuine gold ring, not made out of tin. She's obviously, my opinion, gotta talk on legal terminology here, my opinion is that she is really jaded by all this. Everything Barry's saying, she's very naive. Hello. Is that more?
No,
How many did you get off that plant?
just take this one.
My gosh. Getting this eggplant. Oh, we ordered from Lasada. It's a metal trellis. I think she said she wanted, what was it? She wanted to grow strawberries, go have them hanging. I don't know. You got to see the, what do you call that we have that's spreading out? Passion fruit. Man, all over the fence. It's a vine. But passion fruit is so sweet that you just can't make a juice out of that alone. You have to add it to something like apple juice. You have to dilute it or something. Okay, let me read it. Mark Catley says you might get a response or it might just expire. Either way, you're going to be fine. Well, I hope so. I expect to. Brain Damage says, bad foreigner hurt my feelings. Deport him. Well, I have nothing to do with her feelings. She made the choice to be with him. And I will tell you, as a matter of fact, it's just the way it is culturally here in the Philippines. If you're somebody that's your late 30s, your 40s, and onward, it's very, 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 very difficult to find a foreigner that will be interested in you because they obviously, we don't have to argue that fact, they want them as young as they possibly can. That is a fact. And we all know that. She thinks in her head that I'm not going to be able to find another foreigner to get interested in me because culturally here in the Philippines, well, you hit a certain age, I think she knows very well that the foreigners are going after all these young ones. Perhaps that's part of the trophy, I guess, to her to have a foreigner. It's a trophy to any Filipino to have a foreigner on her arm or something. It's a trophy. It's a gold chalice. But I can't speak for her, and I won't. I can just make opinions on something. And I will, and I do. It's just a matter of wasting your life. The way I look at it, personally, why waste your life when, there's no direction and nothing is written in stone that to be able to get married and have a happy life and blah, blah, blah. But under these particular circumstances, I don't see that being a possibility. So why does somebody hang on? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't know. I don't know what the tie is. Maybe he owes money to the family and she ain't going to let him go until he finds a way to pay it off. I don't know. Just an opinion. Take it for what it is. It's just an opinion. Throw it out the window. But I think it's utilitarian. I will always say that. Now, I will not back off from saying that. It's a utilitarian relationship. They need each other for something. Oh, and she's saying that there's no conjugal visits there. That's an out-and-out lie. That's bullshit. That's why he's got the curtains. That's an out-and-out lie. An out-and-out lie. They do allow for conjugal visits. And he is to be with her because she has an income, same as his other victims. Okay, I'm not going to make any comment on that. Thank you for your expressing your thoughts on that. That's what this is all about today. I'm watching every single thing I say on here very carefully. Only she knows what her purpose is, and only he knows what his purpose is. But I will say absolutely, on the record, utilitarian. That is my opinion. Period. It's very obvious to just about everyone, really, making a lot of considerations of this and that and this and that. It's utilitarian. If you don't know what the word means, look it up. Because that's exactly what it is. Well, people are going to do whatever they want to do. That's just life, Whether they make the right decisions on something, they find out later that maybe it wasn't the right decision. It wasn't right for him to do what he did to me. He's trying to play the innocent role. Everybody's trying to take the high road for him when they know what he did was wrong and where he is where he belongs. And the reason he's been there that long is because he has a case on him. She didn't mention that on her live show. No, she didn't. That he's only in there because something very minor. That, he pay his fine. And I knew nothing about it, she says. I knew nothing about it. He never told me. Bullshit. That was bullshit. That she's afraid of getting charges on her for harboring and aiding abetting. That's why she particularly made that statement. That's exactly why. But she'd have to prove that somehow. She knew everything about him, which makes us scratch our heads and say, well, she knew his background and how he went from woman to woman and some of the things that he allegedly did. But she's still with him. What does that say? Whatever's on your mind. I'm not going to fill in the blanks. You could fill in the blanks without me saying it. Okay. A couple of things I'm supposed to do here. There's certain vitamins that I do need to take, and I will take. And my normal medicine that I've been told to take. I have not been doing my whole regimen of vitamins at all since this happened. I will tell you that. That I can tell you. Not at all. I'm doing it right now. I have only certain selective supplements that I am taking at the moment. Which reminds me, I got to order some more D3 and K2. Glycinate. Got to get the fish oil out. Bought a new bottle of apple cider vinegar. I had a really old one. That helps with stones. Indeed, and the lemon water that I drink also helps tremendously with stones. It's got the stones. Well, you got a really good pair of stones. You could say that too. Let's see. Where is it? I'm not going to be on here too much longer here. Let me take this shit. Hold on. I gotta really start putting down the water. I mean, I'm talking some serious shit here. A lot of you don't really understand about kidney stones and the ramifications of that. Your renal system, which is your kidneys. I had an actual infection, which could have, well, let's just say it's serious when you get an infection in the kidney because the filtration is not gonna work real well. That could lead to everything gets sepsis, like Fazio died. Fortunately, we got the infection under control. Got ants near the freezer again on the floor. I don't know where they're coming from, what they're looking for, but we got ants near the freezer. Okay, we're going to give it a couple of more minutes here, guys. I'm giving my viewers an opportunity to say yay or nay, and what they want to say on there. I could either give an opinion on it. Opinion is all it's going to be. I could answer possibly some of your questions. This show is an opportunity for you to ask some questions that you might have on your mind about this whole thing. Brain damage says, and he only showed off his new shiny knife. Mm-hmm. Okay. And brain damage says that, and he is with her because she has an income same as his other victims. Okay, I'm listening to what you have to say. I welcome your opinions. I welcome all opinions. Well, you know what? It is what it is. And just let it, let things go where they're going to go. Any other adversity, you just face it. That's all. That's all. You got to do what you got to do. To sum this up, really, instead of an hour plus show, you got to do what you feel you got to do. Even them. If they feel they got to do that, they have the right to do it. Is it going to come back to hit him in the face later on? That'd be a good question. We'll see. We'll see. Will she retract her complaint? I don't know. I don't think so. But would it be wise for her to do that? I would say, in consideration of the ramifications that come, because basically, the only reason I plan to take other further action is because of this complaint. complaint. Involved, and her boyfriend got her involved. Now there are going to be new issues arising from this complaint, and serious issues, which could put her in a little bit of jeopardy. And as I said, and I'm going to say it again and again, never my intent, never, ever my intent to get her involved in all this. He himself said he doesn't want to get her involved, but that's what he did. So whose fault is that? Is that my fault? No, it's not my fault. That's not my fault at all. Not even remotely. She was gullible enough to listen to him, figure, well, if we could get him deported, we could end all this shit. And that was the denominator of all of this. If we get him deported, they'll throw the case out, they'll do this, they'll do that, they'll do this, they'll do that. Not necessarily true, actually. Still the Republic against him. I'm the complainant. But if she wants to go down those dark alleys of legal issues and thinks that she's going to get away with this legally, it's not going to happen. Oh, she's in fear of all this. She knows. She knows I'm pretty gung-ho and I'm very steadfast in what I do. She knows I have the tenacity to continue something through. They both know that. Nobody even questions that with me either, obviously so. I've taken it this far, and I'll take it as far as I could possibly take this thing. I'll drag it out. I don't care. I will take this as far as it goes, and what damage happens along the way will be determined on the individuals that are involved with me, putting legal cases on me, or whatever it might be, or complaints. She's got a lot to worry about. There is absolutely no question about that. It's going to be an either-or situation, and that's going to be up to me. If she succeeds with her complaint, I have recourse for that, of course, legal. And as a result of that, it'll be a definite, not a question, it'll be a definite that I will have to take further action. So she will be involved in the court system for quite a while, just like her boyfriend is. If that's what she wants, and she has the Constitution to handle that, God bless her. I do. I have that tenacity. And I'm not going to be satisfied until this is all over and it's done and justice is served. So let's bottom line it. He went too far. It was not a smart move, to say the least. He's paying the price for it as we speak. And yet he does more stupid things to make it worse for himself and his girlfriend. What kind of a mental midget could a person like that be, my opinion, to do something like that to begin with? I got to take some of my meds here. I mean, it makes no sense. But who says sensibility had anything to do with this? There is no sensibility. There's none. And what else I got to take here? Might as well get it over with. The Tamacillin, is that supposed to be taken at night, actually? Or it don't matter?
Don't matter, just once a day.
Yeah, okay. Okay, the Tamacillin. And then, of course, the potassium citrate. Cannot get away with that one. Potassium citrate.
The other one, new prescriptions is different, not the same.
The new one is different?
Yeah, the one the Dr. Torres gave it.
In here? No.
Yeah, the new prescription. It's different medicine.
Where? What are you talking about? You mean for the potassium citrate?
No, it's different.
So they don't want me to take potassium citrate?
You still taking for the potassium, but the other prescriptions they give it to you the other day is different.
All right, so I should take this then.
Yeah, I don't know where
Who's the other?
That one is
Well, where is it? You got all the medicine together here, don't you?
we didn't buy that one.
Oh, we didn't buy it? Why didn't we buy it? What's the reason we didn't buy it? All right, check it out what it is. Got to figure out on these medications they're making me take here. Ah. Okay, I think we've been on here.
There are only different man na.
And what does it say?
Different na. Different.
And why didn't we get it? No, that's potassium citrate. That's what that is.
What's that potassium citrate? No, my God, it's not potassium citrate.
K is potassium. That's
Yeah,
the
but that one is different. This one is for to not grow the
stones. Well, that's
To
what
protect
that's
this-
what potassium citrate is. Part of what it does. See the K on here? That's the natural element K, which stands for potassium.
Yeah,
Potassium citrate. Okay, it says 10 count, 10 milligrams. How many milligrams is that potassium citrate over there? Quantity 300?
Yeah.
300? You got to be kidding me. Ain't this something? What the complaint was based on? That I'm an undesirable, is what she's stating. That I should be deported, taken away from my family here, my partner, and rid me from the Philippines because she's upset that her boyfriend is incarcerated.
This one is different.
Yeah, K citrate means potassium citrate. K is the symbol for potassium. I know from my chemistry. After breakfast, after lunch, and after dinner. That's what the nephrologist says. That's what the complaint was based on. Said I did this,
One
that.
is different.
That's different? Tasket. Is that
The one you take.
the one I'm taking now?
Yeah. Sure.
I'm not going to buy 300. God knows. What is that? Okay, well, go and pick that up today if they have it locally. Otherwise, another trip to Bantayan, I guess. I don't know. They give you medicines to take, and they all serve a purpose, of course. I don't like taking all this shit, but, you know, the way it is, you got to do what you got to do. All right, so I just took... where is my tamsuline? I just took that, the red one.
We already took what?
I took the potassium citrate.
And the other one, the red one.
Okay, we got it down then. All right, we're going to end it here, guys. I've been on here for like 2 freaking hours. I didn't realize I've been on here that long. I hope you absorbed a little bit on this show. I gave you an opportunity to ask questions, and I tried to answer them as best as I could, as far as what I could actually talk about legally. Most information is out there anyway, so I'm not going beyond the standards of respecting a case and the information regarding a case. There's a lot of little in-betweens that I can't talk about, but when this is all over, I could talk about everything. But I'm in here for the long run. Brain Damage says, I can hear the roar of laughter when they find out who the boyfriend is. Well, I'm sure they know who it is. I don't think there's anybody in immigration that don't know who he is. That's the bad point on his situation. He's very abrasive to them. If the word gets around the office, they're going to say, oh, so now his girlfriend's trying to get involved with this. We're not going to stand behind this guy at all. That's what they're probably saying. But he made it worse. Talk about buffoonery. He made it worse. Who does that? He does. He made everything worse on himself. And he's trying to get sympathy from people like, I've never done anything bad to a Filipino. I never harmed. I never took money off anybody. I never did anything. Never pulled a knife on somebody. I never did this. I never said that. You remember when he adamantly said that he never called me a child molester, yet he was on camera doing it. Like nobody records that shit, right? He denied everything. That immigration's never gonna, they're not interested in a foreigner unless he gets in trouble. There he is, celebrated his 15th month, going on his 16th month on the 27th of this month. And how did he get in there? He did it. He did it. I just helped him along the way. Shit, I gotta pay these fucking visa fees like anybody else does. But it went deeper than that. Okay? Getting him in the immigration situation was a platform to his case. Bottom line. Now that he got approved 5 charges against him, he's got to face that and take whatever punishment is going to be due him, or maybe none. I can't predict the future, and I'm not going to try. He did what he did, now he's paying for it. And if he expects sympathy from me, that's just not going to happen. And I don't think anybody, even the trolls, are really sympathizing with him. The only thing that I agree on, is that they should have a little bit more healthy accommodations for anybody. That place, as I said, should have been condemned 10 years ago. That's not fair. That's the only positive point I'm going to give toward this guy, is that, but then a lot of people also say that's probably the best accommodations he's ever had since he's been in the Philippines. So he's not paying rent, not paying electricity or anything. It's just for food. But he always has money. Panda Express, it's not cheap. You got to pay a delivery fee or any other resource. She admitted that he just can't eat Filipino food. He can't eat fish. He can't eat onions. He can't eat rice. You don't like rice? Well, that forces him to eat more Americanized food. And that's not cheap. The question is, where's he getting the money? From her. Where's she getting the money? Donations, private donations perhaps? Her family? Combination of both? Whatever. But he's surviving well. It's Motel 6 compared to Bikichan. Count his blessings. But chances are that might be where he's going to wind up. He ain't going to like that. Yeah, blame it all on me. I did not come on a show on a daily basis and call somebody a child molester every single day. Not once, but not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but at least 100 times. And he thought he'd get away with it. And he's not. He's not getting away with it. He created a war, a battle that he can't handle. And you say, oh, the only reason I'm getting whatever get done because I'm taking advantage of him because he doesn't have any money. Well, I don't know. He seems to be getting money from people to have a lawyer. That's $8,000 to $10,000 a shot every time the lawyer has to make an appearance, whether on camera or in person. Where's he getting that money? Besides John Blaze, who's been financing him, by the way. He recently got $1,400 from U.S. dollars from John Blaze. So he has people in the background that's giving him money. So sympathy for the devil, I mean, no sympathy. He's getting money. How do you think he's ordering Panda Express and all that shit? You think it's free? No. Girlfriend's helping. Her family might be giving a little bit. Her sister, who has money. And of course, people like Flying Circus, who absolutely loves her to death, he's giving her money too. Think I didn't know that? But I don't think he's ever going to get the money he needs. If he gets convicted, if the judge goes through with the wishes and pray of my lawyer, $500,000 per each charge, that's 2.5 million pesos. And if you can't pay that, no matter where this case goes, if you can't pay that, you should remain in jail until you can pay it. And let's add up all the fees and fines for his immigration. Every month he stays there, it gets higher and higher and higher. You can stay there. I'm getting off here.
Hello.
Either way. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Pleasure talking to
I
you.
understand.
By the way, don't listen to World Zoom because he's giving you information that's not true. First, he said that he had a public defender when actually he is a private lawyer. I know as a fact he has a private lawyer. It's not a public defender. And he says, I like the guy, World Zoom says. At the same note, in the same sentence, he's saying that he finds him horribly abrasive. It was very hard spending 4 months with him in there. So what's with that? You can't believe everything you hear. That's what it comes down to. Okay, guys, thank you.
All right, everybody, he ended it. There is a God. I got to give you a little synopsis of what I thought of this, you know, live stream. Frankrupcy, whoever come up with that term, that moniker, it was great. Awesome. My hat's off to you. And I have to say, the guy is clueless. Number one. Number two, he's popping all kinds of pills. He's dizzy. Maybe he'll take a tumble in the shower and be dead. We can be done with the piece of shit. And I want to thank you guys like Steve, Tim Dizak, Chris Cato, Optimus Prime. Who else come in here, man? All you guys. You just like Mr. Mojo Rising. Who else come in here? Tim Dizak, Dewey, Optimus Prime again, yeah, help. Don COVID, Chris Cato. Thank all you guys for coming in. Greatly appreciate it. I was lucky enough to catch this. Chase and Tail, you're a day late and $1 short. And I'm going to tell you once and for all, Frank's days are numbered in the Philippines. You could take that to the bank. You can come back to this channel and say, yeah, Popeye said that. And I'm not just saying this off the cuff, okay? It is. I agree. Being able to comment on him live is a lot of fun. And you're quite welcome, Chris. And it's just hilarious. I mean, I did have to take my headphones off a couple of times, take a head break, and cause like, dude, I can only listen to him for so long. Everything is so repetitive. So guys, I want you to have a good night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. This was Popeye One. Popeye One out.